We'll take a look through your morning view, brought to you by Ukrainian Co-op, Regina's only outdoor smokehouse. Still some cloud cover holding on out there, but the sun working hard to make an appearance as we get through our Monday. Still very cold. -14 is how we start things off, feeling a little closer to -18 with the wind chill. Wind right now fairly calm. We saw a few flurries early on this morning through central and southern Saskatchewan, really focusing in that southwestern corner, but trace amounts at most. The bulk of the active weather and the snowfall warning we have right now in Western Canada is along the foothills of Alberta. It's August, and that means the summer days are numbered. So while the warm weather lasts, the city of Yorkton has found a way to celebrate the season. August 7th has been proclaimed Garden Day. And as Jaden Lee Lincoln tells us, residents are really digging it. Injuries are adding up as the Riders get ready to tackle the Alouettes in Montreal on Friday night. Defensive tackle Micah Johnson did not travel with the team, and D lineman AC Leonard and defensive back Lucius Purifoy missed practice on Wednesday. And the team says receiver Shaq Evans will be a game-time decision. Claire Hanna explains why the trade to acquire Kenny Stafford could be a very well-timed move. Ben and Jessica Mulrooney join me now to talk about something that is so important, especially during the holiday season, and that is giving back. The Shoebox Project. It began in 2011. For people who maybe don't know what it's all about, what is this initiative?
Well, the initiative started in 2011, and we're going into our 8th drive. We support women's shelters across Canada and the U.S.
What's included in these boxes? I know the notes in there, and I think that's my favorite part of this entire thing, but what's included in these boxes?
Yeah, me too. Well, we suggest about $50 worth of gifts.
And finally, Harriet.
There's not much time. You got to be miles away from Headful Dawn. Where is she? Follow that North Star.
Based on the exhilarating and inspirational life of an iconic American freedom fighter, this film tells the extraordinary tale of Harriet Tubman's escape from slavery and transformation into one of America's greatest heroes. Her courage, ingenuity, and tenacity freed hundreds of slaves and changed the course of history. This movie is rated PG-13. That's going to do it for this edition of Theater Thursday, and as always, enjoy the show. We're looking at a daytime high well above seasonal to round out the week, but this weekend we dip. So if you're heading to the Prairie Classic or the Heritage Classic, make sure you layer up. You can get your forecast anytime by downloading the CTV Regina weather app today. They were the only black family in the community, and in order for their children to get an education, they had to build their own school, named after Oskaloosa, Lewis's hometown in Iowa.
It was an integrated school, and and my father's aunt came from Iowa as a teacher and taught at the Maidstone area where all the black people were, the schools there. And she wanted to come teach at Oskaloosa. And apparently the chairman of the board said, there's no way any black woman is teaching my children.
Although fleeing north was seen as a move to a more accepting place, Canada still has its own dark history. According to the Civic Museum of Regina, this gold Ku Klux Klan token was found in a heritage home in 2018. The family who found it donated the piece to the museum. It's believed to date back to the early 1920s. At the time, it was believed that the KKK had a membership of 25,000 people in Saskatchewan, believed to be one of the largest groups in Canada at the time. Carol says her family was lucky and didn't face much in the way of overt racism at the time they came to Canada. But the family's attitude in this era of racial unrest and inequality was simple.
We're just as equal to anyone else, and if people call you names, that's their problem, and it's usually because they don't feel so good about themselves.
February is Black History Month in Canada, but it wasn't always recognized this way. Back in the 70s, it only lasted a week, and it wasn't until 1995 that it became nationally recognized. The fight for equality and justice is still an uphill climb for many, not only here in Saskatchewan, but around the country. But there is hope.
I think as young people are exposed more and more to the diversity of our city and the diversity of the world, that minds may be changing.
This is something that makes Canada and makes Saskatchewan very, very special. But you can't take it for granted.
Black History Month acknowledges the sacrifices made by so many and the strides forward taken to get us to where we are today. The hope here in Saskatchewan is that the province will continue to grow and live up to its motto, from many people, strength. Jessica Smith, CTV News, Regina.